And we welcome you back to the afternoon session here at Dressage by the Sea 2025. We have the next horse circling the arena, Chibi B, ridden by Serena Island from New South Wales, and Chibi is owned by Jenny Rapson.
Chibi B, for those that are unsure of their breeds, you are looking at a very gorgeous Frisian stallion. And he is probably the epitome of a Frisian. He's black. He's got a lot of extra tail hair and mane hair. He probably would have quite a lot on his legs, but I suspect that it's been trimmed nicely. Big, imposing, and flamboyant. Really makes you watch him. He's a lovely horse to look at. So I think we can probably enjoy this test. You can sit and enjoy him power around.
And originating from the Netherlands, the Frisians. Or that's where they've ended up. Probably originated from somewhere before that.
Big, powerful, extended trot, and the extra tail. He has got his hind legs underneath him, I might say, but you know the tail covers up a few things. It's fluent. Perhaps could have a little more bend on this side in that shoulder in. But it's going in a really nice way and makes it easy for the judges to just score it 7 or a bit higher, depending on the movement. Again, lovely walk, relaxed, keeping a good rhythm.
I was just going to say the same thing, a good example of extended walk. Let's see if we're... I suppose if I can't say good, I think 8. Is it an 8? Judges have given it...
No, they didn't agree with us. A bit lower than us. Lots of bounce and jump and ground cover in this. And then, now it wouldn't. Oopsie daisies. A couple of oopsie daisies there where the mistake happened with the late flying change at M and then the correction and so on. Again, this horse is pretty new to Prix St Georges level. I think it was doing advanced last year.
second pirouette was better.
Yeah, much more controlled on, gets a little bit free, perhaps on the left rein, and more controlled on the right, although perhaps that's the change from left to right, right to left, that's a little tricky for him. Oops. Yeah, so it would seem in the series changes that's just a wee bit harder. Doesn't always come off, and then that wrecks your sequence. Yeah, so sadly his difficulty with the change in probably more one direction than the other means that both series changes not coming off and pulling his score dramatically down from right up near 70 to now 63-ish. So that's just a learning process that has to be, and maybe that's something they have to think about at this level, is if you're having a difficulty in a single flying change, as soon as you then think you're going to do a series, well, you're going to amplify the difficulty. So in the end, she's going to end up maybe at 64.
The next horse entering the arena is Ashwood Park Prescott. Prescott is a 12-year-old gelding by Prestige and ridden by Sheridan Ashwood. So assessing how it's going, it's performing the movements quite accurately, and then you say, what mark can I give it, or what comment do I make to make it better? And my comment would be it needs to be more supple over the back, softer,
positioning looks pretty good. The accuracy level is good. So it's just how to get the trot to have a little bit more fluency. It's quite expressive. Hind legs could always do more. Makes a good picture across the short side there. And we were looking to see it does both things, both directions of the movements equally. And I think that just maybe there it's thinking in the volte, the horse, is feeling like perhaps it should try and passage. So a little change in rhythm. And then losing the rhythm here in the collected walk. And of course, if the judges can't see walk, then they can't mark the walk. So they have to mark it right down below the 5. And so far it hasn't really walked at all. And yet, you know, the walk pirouette comes off, but in between times it's jogging. And she's trying to, you know, calm the horse down, pacifying it, patting it, and that's fine. Good thing to try to do. And then extended walk, where again, remember, looking for ground cover, over tracking, freedom, and a 4-beat walk. So sadly for Sheridan, there's quite a lot of loss of marks here. And onwards with the canter work, and we start to crawl back some of those marks. Made a mistake in that change at M. And then in that pirouette, obviously, you can all see that's not supposed to happen. And just obviously the horse is just finding the atmosphere. It's a bit tight about the whole thing. And when you're tight, you anticipate or you don't hear either one. You can be riding a horse that seems to be mega sensitive, and then at the next stride, it's the opposite. So difficult to ride them when they're not relaxed. Managed the 3 times quite fluently. That's good. Be just a bit straighter in the extended canter, but she certainly made an effort to send the horse forward, which is what you need to do when they're tense, is send them forward if you possibly can. So we have a score for Chibi B and Serena Island of 64.147%, placing her in second position. And shortly a score for Sheridan Ashwood. Meanwhile, our next competitor is Ava Halloran from Victoria, riding Good Time. Good Time is by Rudolph. He's a 14-year-old gelding and owned by Ava.
So the next horse circling the arena is Cashmere, and Cashmere is ridden by Jaden Brown. Cashmere is a 9-year-old brown mare by Jack Sparrow. So I'm sure Jaden is going to give them a little push, maybe a little nudge at the top there, we hope. Make the competition interesting. I'm pretty sure this horse went to England with him. Maybe not.
So we can straight away see in the extended trot expression, and expression is gained by bending of joints. So you can see bending hop joints and knees up. But you know, you still, when you have all of those things, they're a little bit hard to ride, and also to maintain the regularity all the way through.
It's definitely expressive, isn't it?
Yes, it certainly is.
But that little whoopsie in the half pass, that little loss of rhythm has been quite expensive.
So settling a little bit more now with into its still expressive trot, but now with more regularity about it.
That's always a hard thing, isn't it? Balancing that expression with the balance and the harmony.
Yeah. Well, when you're that expressive, it's actually pretty hard to ride physically, you know, with your own body. So there are some horses that are only for the very best of riders. When they're that expressive, you've got to learn to sit on it. And Jaden, of course, is a very good rider, so he's capable of this. But there would be other people who you'd say, that horse wouldn't suit you because you have trouble keeping your balance. And Cashmere, you know, this is its home ground, lives here, so it has a little hometown advantage. But nevertheless, most of the time the stands, of course, are empty. So fairly relaxed in that walk, but it could have had more let go about the whole thing. And it is a little bit tense and a little bit, you know, it's making some, I never want to say that, as a combination, they're making some boo-boos. And so...
It's just extra.
It's extra stuff.
Yeah. I like the extra stuff. Oh, maybe not that extra.
Not that extra, yeah. And I think, you know, Jaden is he's now going to retire, I think. Yes, Pretty certain he is. That's
And that's probably just the overflow of the energy and, you know, just a little, you know, part of the process with some of these highly talented horses, that they just need the time, and Jaden's decided to not overface it and go back to the drawing board.
the next competitor in this Prix St Georges CDN class is Alicia Targa, riding Regalo de Sacita. Regalo is a Spanish Prix horse, and he's owned by Liza Carver.
So the Prix horses have become very popular in recent years. They definitely look like lots of fun to ride. Just some little inconsistencies with the connection and the contact here today. Horses are very well known for their ability to piaffe and passage. Probably that little inconsistency with the connection to the bridle is affecting the scores currently. Could have a little bit better balance coming into the half pass and a little bit more bend through the rib cage. into the collected walk. Showing quite good overtrack in the extended walk. So then we make a transition to canter here at K. And straight into the half pass with the change at X and then back to M. Those of you tuning in from home, you're tuning into the Prix St Georges CDN. It goes all the way through till about 4 o'clock this afternoon. A lot of horses in this class today here at Dressage by the Sea for 2025. Just some little mistakes in that line of changes there. So Alicia Targa coming to the completion of her test with a few too many errors there for the really top marks.
Our next competitor in this class is Jade Wilkinson from Queensland. Jade is riding Sherellen Gadarene. Gadarene is by Sherellen Gamble. And it's a 12-year-old owned by Jade Wilkinson. Our first Queenslander of the morning, or today so far. I don't think we've had one yet, have we? Anyway, I can't remember.
Not that I know of.
No.
We'll go with that.
We'll go with that. So welcome to our Queensland viewers if you're watching. It's the Prix St Georges class. Currently in the lead we have a score of 67.5% with Kayla Sims.
And Jade is trending on about 65.5.
So she can give him a push. That would be lovely. Nicely balanced half pass.
It's definitely made a great start. Another leggy one.
Yeah.
Long legs.
Yeah.
Elegant. Nicely forward.
Yeah, it's carrying itself well.
Maybe a moment of lack of concentration on that circle when it just lost a bit of rhythm. Be careful with the walk, not to hurry the collected walk, because then the pirouettes become... But she's done a good job. She obviously knew that she needs to be forward, but makes me a bit nervous.
Second pirouette was nice. But this is a horse that walks with activity.
Yes, it does, doesn't
and
it?
energy, and maintains, we can see the nice V there between the hind leg on one side and the front leg on the same side. You see there's a V, and you always want to be able to see that. That's an indicator that it's a correct walk. And certainly looked pretty straight and pretty direct into canter. Down there at K.
And this is a really good angle for the judges to assess the half passes so close together. They're they can see one directly after the other, so it's a great comparison of the two. It's marked as one movement though, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's in the test paper. It's marked as one movement.
No.
No?
No.
Two?
Half pass left, half pass
Yeah,
right.
okay.
With a flying change each. So the flying change and the half pass are marked together.
Sorry.
But I think they would have found that the first half pass, the left one, was a bit lacking in position, whereas the second one was better. That's what I would have thought if I was judging. Good, there's nice sitting in that pirouette. Second pirouette. A little bit late in making the change at C, so it's meant to be at C. It's after C, so it's not a late change, but late in its placement.
And got them.
Yeah, but with a sort of a lacking influence, probably is the best way to say. Again, ticking along at 63% or thereabouts, so sort of this, in this class, that's pretty much what everybody's doing. And certainly that's the point of having a Prix St Georges CDN class at a big show, is you're introducing horses to the level and to the atmosphere of a big show. And so consequently, you know, there'll be the odd horse that's very comfortable and will get the high scores, but most of them will be more of this, still making some mistakes, not sure about themselves.
Finding their way.
Finding their way. So, and Thursday's the quietest day, so that's why it's on. So Jade, in principle, has done a pretty nice job with the horse, but a few hiccups, maybe not even mistakes, but just a little bit of
lacking flow and losing balance, and maybe mistakes.
Yeah, but at this point, she's probably still going to be in the top few. Still more to come, plenty more to come. There are 27 in the class, and we're still only up to, we're about halfway, 14, so. And an update on the scores. Currently in the lead, we have Kayla Sims with Desiree on 67.53. In second, we have Serena Ireland with Chibi on 64.147. And we're just waiting on the score for Jade Wilkinson. And yes, Jade has moved into third position on 63.912%. So Jade Wilkinson and Sherellen Gadarine scoring 63.912. Our next horse is Biley Braveheart, ridden by Celeste Amesdros from New South Wales. It's an 8-year-old gelding by Biley Breyer, and it's owned by Julie Munro.
So Braveheart by the Australian imported stallion Biley Briard, and also by a international Grand Prix horse Briard. we're talking about genetics and how they definitely influence the, you know, you see certain pedigrees showing up again and again. You have to have a bit of vision and longevity to breed a dressage horse, because a lot of them are, you know, 10 years. This one's a relatively young horse at 8 years old for this level. You know, to believe in something and then have to wait 8 years or 9 years or 10 years to produce it. Definitely not for the faint-hearted. Lots of things can go wrong. But when it goes right, it's very rewarding.
Braveheart is a little cautious down this end. I feel like in general he's
Not very brave.
not very brave, at least not today. Trying to be, I think perhaps trying to be brave, but so tension, tight in the neck. He's actually a pretty elegant horse, but the trouble with tension is it's just making that walk lose its clear 4-beat rhythm. And where I was talking about the V before, you have a little trouble seeing the V in the walk. So same leg on the and foreleg on the same side should make a V. So now it's getting closer to a V as he relaxes. But in the collected walk, if you were watching, it was not. And so collected walk gets 4s, maximum of sort of 5 when that happens. And, you know, the overwhelming thing, the first thing in the principle of dressage is regularity of the pace. So if you aren't making a 4-beat walk, it's not regular. A 3-beat canter and a 2-beat trot. And in those half passes, he's taking the position okay. He's just a bit stiff-legged in the whole thing, so it doesn't flow elastically, shall we say.
And one of the youngest in the class, so probably fairly new to this level. definitely is trying, but he's just a little reserved, isn't he?
Yeah, yep, he is. And he can obviously count. He can do his job. He knows what a pirouette is, etc. He knows his work.
Just a little tight.
He's just, well, as we say, a bit overwhelmed. Without, he hasn't thrown in the towel or anything. In fact, he's actually been quite cooperative.
And Celeste seems
And she's
quite happy with
quite
him.
happy. So he'll probably be tomorrow when he does, either he might be doing advanced, I'm not sure, or he could be going on to do into one. We won't see him again, but I don't think. He'll probably be he'll be better for this experience. He'll have grown overnight. So onwards we go with the next one. Which looks like it's meant to be Catherine Farrell and M.I. Abba Sienna. And this is Catherine Farrell from New South Wales riding M.I. Abba Sienna, a mare by Abba Halo 29, 12 years old.
Very expressive going there through the short side.
Yes, I was just thinking that she could have, at the short side I was admiring its trot, but prior to that I was looking at the extended trot and I didn't really see a big difference between the two, so needs to be more difference, or the transitions between the two need to be clearer. And the transitions get a mark in all these tests, and I think probably missed the transition there at F before. It's an attractive looking horse, elegant type.
Another one from quite a famous family of performance horses with Abba Hello and the Sugarloaf mare there on the dam side.
got a nice regular walk, both in the collected and I think we'll see the same into the extended. The overtrack's there, the relaxation is there. Not quite direct into canter, so you might have seen the trot stride.
Needs to look seamless, doesn't it? There's a little stutter there.
Yep. Bit more position in the left half pass needed, and a bit more of an uphill quality and collection in the right half pass as it comes towards me. So, you know, she should have corrected that. So the change happened without her.
It should have happened at C.
It should have happened at C. It happened
then
earlier.
There's no change at C,
Yeah.
so what do they do?
So she's got no counter canter. And there's a mark for the counter canter. So that will be costly. Nice, easy 4 times changes.
And one mistake in the threes.
And the extended canter, well, I, of course, would probably say I'd like more extended canter, but my point on that movement is that the flying change, which is at the end, is a mark of its own. And you need to show before the flying change, the movement says collected canter and flying change at F, and it should be performed on the diagonal line as you point to F, the horse's nose. So unlike other movements that are made where the rider's body passes the marker, when you're doing a movement on the diagonal line, it's done towards the marker.
On the straight.
On the straight of the diagonal, the horse's nose. So she just was already going around the corner when she did the change. And that will bring the mark down, just to explain it. That's because you want everything to be done in balance on a straight line. From New South Wales, riding Fernley Florentina. Florentina's a mare. She's by Feederstern and she's owned by Karma. Oh, on the big screen. Okay, we haven't got that. So this just would ask for a more of a supple, elastic look in both the shoulder in and the circle. Another one of those horses that gives the impression of being a little stiff within itself. And yet it can extend really nicely like that. So it can, I'm sure it can be more supple. These are the things you're working on. Probably needs to generally have more energy in that collected trot so it can spring off the ground more. Oh dear. So we've had the bell ring. And our judge at sea, Thomas, my guess is he's sending her out for something. Apparently he doesn't think it's regular, I would say. And that's obviously not what the rider wants to hear, but it might account for why what I'm saying is that it looks tight and stiff, unusually so. So then there'll be then there was a break after Karma anyway, so you can all at home go off and make yourself a cuppa and be back at 2:09. Oh, it's not very long. No, sorry. Oh, 2:27. I think I need a cuppa. Okay, talk to you all soon. Bye.